Alright guys, welcome back to Vlogs and Frogs. This loud girl right here, her name's Samantha. She is a New Hampshire chicken which derived from the Rhode Island Reds, which was another breed of chickens. And they were originally bred for meat because they do come with a lot more meat and do lay more eggs. But then they became a very good pet chicken, a very good chicken to keep around in the yard to have eggs and grow with. And she is easily the nicest chicken we have here in the Fern Creek garden at Fern Creek High School. We used to have a rooster, but he became a little violent, so we had to get rid of him. And the easiest way we could tell he was a rooster and not a hen, because the hens are females and roosters are males, is for one, their overall size. Females are usually a lot smaller than males, and males also have these little spurs down on the bottom of their legs. And she is an extremely docile chicken. She mainly will scoundrel around through the dirt and leave some things for things like insects and different bugs. She'll eat some vegetation here and there because chickens are omnivorous. And you should know, they are extremely big fans of vegetables. And she will just sit here and tear this little tomato up, because you know those veggies are good for you. So, obviously, who are you?
Hi, I am Mr. Hall, John Hall, and I teach junior English and senior English. I also run the 4-H garden club after school and take care of the school garden, orchard, and chicken coops.
Okay. And how do you personally feel about chickens as a species?
Chickens as a species, I think they're incredibly useful for human beings because they are at once good food and they are also beneficial for a working garden as well.
And how would you say they're beneficial for that?
So for our garden, they serve a couple different purposes. The first is just kind of for enjoyment. Students love seeing them. They love going out and holding them. Students like to kind of take ownership of the chickens and make sure they're fed and watered each week. The other purpose they serve is chickens poop, and they poop a lot. And so we use that manure, chicken manure poop, to add to our compost, which we will in turn, over time, put into our raised beds, which fertilizes them and helps them be productive and grow great vegetables.
So I know you have to feed them, water them, clean out their coops and everything. But when it comes to cleaning them, do you always, because I know we've cleaned them before, but do you always have to clean them, or?
Yeah, so we last year had a kind of peculiar instance where we had to give the chickens a real bath because a couple of our chickens had maggots on them because they had some incisions and they got sick. So we had to kind of wash them with water and some soap. And I believe you were part of that experience. It was a hoot. But then otherwise, chickens are pretty good at taking care of themselves. They do what is called a dirt bath. They don't really particularly like being in water. But what they do is they kind of ruffle themselves around in the ground. Particularly, they love sand. And it gets in between their feathers, and they have this gland right above their tail feathers that secretes an oil. And what they do is they take their beak around and they take a little bit of oil off of there, and then they do what's called preening with their beaks. They run the oil over their feathers, and basically they use the dirt that's on there to kind of scrub them clean, and then the oil keeps the feathers nice and soft, and it gives them a protective coat.
Now, how many breeds of chickens do you think you could name?
Oh God. I know we've got Orpingtons, buff Orpingtons, New Hampshire Reds. We've got a Leghorn out there. And I think that's about all I can name. I know what we have.
And then final question is, do you have a favorite chicken?
It's got to be Samantha out there. That hen is just so friendly, so kind. I mean, almost like a dog. You know, when you walk out, it runs up to the gate and just kind of sits down and waits for you to pick it up. The others are a little bit more timid and afraid of humans, whereas Samantha's just like, I love y'all. You know, you guys are amazing. So that's my favorite chicken.